you and I are in the midst of a fast of sorts. It's your idea, so I want you to explain like what the fast is.
Oh, wow.
And what we doing.
You know, a lot of churches will do fast at the beginning of the year, or even if you're not someone who affiliates with a church, that can kind of be like the beginning of the year. It's a good time to maybe reset. I know each month can be that way, each day, each week, or whatever. But I actually found this girl on Instagram. I don't even think I follow her, y'all, but I saw maybe a tagged post or something. Her handle is at Old Loser in Brooklyn.
Okay.
I don't necessarily resonate with her style. She's pretty cool though. I started following her. I think she's got a lot of really cool takes on style. So if you just want to follow someone that's a little bit funky that lives out in NYC, I recommend following her. But she came up with this idea. Many of you might have heard of the 75 hard challenge, which I've had family that's done that. I have no desire to do that, but she came up with 75 hard style challenge. And so, yeah, so Victoria, you know her. She seems really dope. And I saw her post this at the beginning of the year, and I thought, this is a really interesting concept. So I sent it to our group chat and said, why don't we think about fasting? Because what it will do, as far as from a fashion perspective, I think clarify some things for us, help us look at our clothes in a new way. I know for me, I can often run to fashion or shopping to absolve, keep discomfort from my life. It really brings me comfort and creativity. But I started the 15th. I think you did too, Armond. Taylor has started a little bit earlier, but sharing the goal is to take a picture every day of what you wear. Mm-hmm. I know for me, I've been doing it in the journal app, which is like a new app that my phone added. I don't understand what that is.
It's like the YouTube. It's like the YouTube album. YouTube.
See that? Okay, so I've been using that because I thought either I'll do a blog or something. I want to keep track. We've also posted a lot of pictures in our group chat. So if you have friends that also you talk fashion with, that's a great way to do it. But you take a picture. I know for me, I write out every single thing I wore that day, from like my top to bottom to accessories to socks or whatever, and to kind of keep track of what it is you tend to wear. The goal, I think she also had some ideas about look at your closet, clean out your closet, really think through the things that you have or maybe gaps in your closet that you realize you don't have. Just a time of reflecting on what you already own and not purchasing anything new. Mm-hmm. So now I think I'm on day 35 or something? I'm not sure. But I think I recorded day 30 because I've missed a few days. But yeah, so that's the fast. And so we've all tried to do it in our own way. And Armond, I'm curious because I know you've had some really interesting outcomes or thought processes since we've been fasting from our shopping.
Yeah.
And I would be curious what you've discovered so far.
Before I get into that, what was is there like a hashtag or something that she can follow?
I think it's hashtag 75 hard style challenge.
Hard style challenge.
Yep. Hashtag 75 hard style challenge. I think that's what it is. And if you click that, there's a lot of people that have done posts. I haven't posted really any of my fits, but I think that's something that you could check out and see what other people have been reflecting on. And if you want to start it now. Join us.
For sure. Yeah. So I think to Rich's point, one of the reasons why I was I was down to do the fast was because I wanted to save some money.
That's right. Me too.
I shared this last stream that I spent 2020 to 2022 buying a lot of clothes out of like anxiousness and anxiety. So now I have all these clothes that are connected to emotions that I have either evolved from, I've resolved, or I just don't want to connect to them in that way. Mm-hmm. And then also like with that, like my lifestyle has changed significantly with having, having a new baby and, my daughter graduating high school and my son getting into his own style and him now raiding my closet, and he comes out here and he's like, Dad, can I have this? Can I have it? Which is crazy because I do that with my dad. So I think the first thing that I learned was I don't wear 85% of my closet. You have this like need, you're scrolling through your phone and you see something that's like really dope and you're like, yo, I want this. In your head, you start coming up with different outfits and then you buy it and you wear it once, twice, handful of times. And then before you know what, the season of it is over. And for me, like I spend money on clothes. If I'm going to buy something, like you know, it's elevated,
Yep.
right? So I don't really, even my basic stuff is pretty expensive. So now I'm out hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars collectively on clothes that I've purchased, but I don't wear them. Versus like on a day to day, I'm gonna wear a big thick hoodie
Yep.
and a beanie, or maybe tomorrow beanie, and some like a good pair of sweats and some runners.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And like that's my everyday. And I'm functional and I look good and I feel good. And you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like I'm still getting compliments. I'm still able to be an authority and a voice on fashion and things like that, but I'm not going over the top. So the first thing that I learned was that like, yo, I don't need a
Yeah.
lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I
Convicting.
would, yeah, and it was like, what is my connection to like this, like purchasing? Like, why is it this thing? And it's funny because Rich and I, we met a few years ago and talked about like, yo, why do I have all these shoes and I only have 2 feet, right?
Oof.
Like, I don't need all this stuff. There are other goals that I have that if I just got rid of
Yep.
this stuff, I would literally have not only more money, but like more
Yes.
space to
Yes.
accomplish these things that I
Yep.
want to do. So
Yep.
that was huge for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I
Absolutely.
think it's interesting because what fasting does, if you've committed yourself to like interrupting a behavior, and we could go real deep on fasting and I won't, but I think in this particular case, when you cause yourself to stop shopping, if you are someone who regularly shops, and I do encourage a lot of times when people are talking to me about wanting to change their style or wanting to increase their, you know, closet or expand their wardrobe, you really do have to almost shop year round and really keep an eye on things. But there's a discipline with stopping yourself just because you're looking or you're searching for things, searching without intention. It's a wild world out there. You will end up buying things that you already have something similar to that you really only wear once, doesn't fit your lifestyle. It's pretty irresponsible in that sense. But if you do know what you're looking for, shopping year round, being mindful of that and purchasing the things that you've committed to, that's just a more disciplined way of doing it. Whereas when you interrupt a behavior or the habits, like you're talking about, Rich and Tanika, both of you saying that, like there's things that you do over and over again, you pay attention and you interrupt that. And you say, oh no, I always buy something like this, which is what I noticed in my fast. So I am in New York City. I live in Brooklyn. I have access to literally any type of shopping at any time. Okay. Doesn't mean that I can access it all being a plus size woman, but there are lots of options all around me, much less now that I know where I like to shop and doing it online. And that's one of my creative outlets for sure.
Right.
So that's
Yep.
really hard because what you're doing is saying I have to almost redirect creative energy in other places, which I've found has been interesting for me to do. I've definitely, this is going to sound odd, but I've read more. I've done more research on things because I spend a lot of time researching fashion. I used to do a lot of times where like at night, I'll just be like, oh, I'm going to eat a snack and I'm going to scroll the internet, like for the things that I want to buy. And it was this piece that I got from doing that. It doesn't mean I actually bought it, but even knowing that maybe I could, it was like this rush. So interrupting it, one of the things I noticed, and this is what I would encourage for all of you, if you do a fast, you realize that if you look at the things you're getting ready to buy, it's very likely that you already have something so similar.
Yeah.
So similar.
Yeah.
It may be just a different colorway. It may be that it has a slightly different pattern. It may be, so what it actually caused me to do is I would shop, or I would like, even I'd still do my like looking online and that sort of thing, but I would pause. I would take a screenshot of the thing that I thought was cool. And then I would think in my own wardrobe, it would cause me to explore what I already have. So I would go, oh, I already have something neon like that. Let me pull that back out. Oh, because I know myself and I'm drawn to similar things. So I would say that if you are someone who does do that regularly, or you find yourself irresponsibly searching, take a screenshot, look at the things you like, keep them in your cart, but take a look at them and consider if you have something that will get you a similar effect. And that's been so helpful for me. So I hope that that's encouraging for you all. If you are, even if you're not fasting, but if you know you don't have the budget to shop right now, you might have more things in your closet to look at in a different way.
Yeah.
Once you see it as an exploration of what you already have and appreciating what you already own. And to your point, Armand, letting go of the things that no longer serve you because they were from a different version of you.
Yep.
And we'll talk a little bit about what we think style really means, but it's very much personal. It's very much authentic to you and who you are, where you are right now. It's your outward expression of that. So that's something to consider. Letting go of things in the past that no longer represent you and your lifestyle right now can be really helpful when considering your personal style.
Absolutely. And I think it's great to focus on authenticity because is there anything else that we want to talk about with this fast, or can I transition?
The fast. Just providing clarity. That's really what we kind of focused on, I think, was the idea that the fasting provides clarity. But I think we're good. We can move on.
And I think you summarized that really well, because I think the clarity that works for me is like, and this is something I really wish, I want to get Uriah on the show soon, because what he did a few years ago, he was like hyper consumer and he got rid of all his stuff. Like he pretty much got rid of a lot. And his takeaway was, well, instead of buying 3 versions of this one thing, I can really then I'll have the money to buy this one thing.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's crazy that it's a couple $100, but when you think about it, you've spent that money in other spaces where you don't wear it as much, versus it's this thing that you really, really, really want. And because you spent that money, and because now your closet is limited, it is fully functional and flowing. Yes. All the colors go together. Like that is like, I said that on a song I recently put out, Room 506. Like he has me wanting to sell everything because I want that functionality. Like peak functionality is that my entire life flows together.
Yes.
Including my closet.
That's good.
So it's made it easier for me to start selling stuff. I've been talking to a couple people about getting rid of things and having some other financial goals, whereas maybe 6 months ago, even 3 months ago, that would have been more difficult to do because I'm just in consumer mode. There may come a point where that shoe is going to come around, or that shirt's going to come around, and it's going to be in style again and whatever. But it doesn't serve me right now. So either I could put it away in storage. Yeah, sure. Or just get rid of it, and when it comes back, I'll just get it again. It's not that serious.
And that is an interesting point, because I think, and Victoria mentioned this in the chat, that we have just too many options. I think what's interesting about fashion right now, because of the scope of it, to your point, there are things that are reminiscent of some part of us, right? We think that I know I like that for a reason. I'm not entirely sure why it doesn't work for my lifestyle right now, that you might hold on to, because perhaps your lifestyle could change. And you would know that. You would know that, hey, I'm about to get a different job. I'm about to move. My kids are becoming more grown. I want to get out the house, whatever. Kind of what your lifestyle looks like. Right. So whether or not to hold on to things through a whole nother season of life. But if it's been pretty much the same for a bit, you don't anticipate it, it might just be something you enjoy, but you don't need to own. And I think one of the things that's interesting about the overconsumption, when you are in that cycle, you do end up buying substitutes. And we did talk about that topic of buying substitutes for things you really want, because you don't know that the thing you really want, which meets all your needs, to Uriah's point, saving for the thing that you're going to love, which meets your need for function, your need for elevation, your need for subtlety, your need for all those things that you say you want your style to be about. If you save and you wait for that, it may take time. Then you're not buying 4 substitutes leading up to that. And I've definitely done that, where I think, oh, I know I like these types of things, but maybe it missed one pillar of my style. It didn't meet the ease factor, or the shape factor, or the wearability, So I think that's something to really consider. And fasting helps you get that clarity. You have to step outside of that cycle to really look at what your behaviors are and what you want. So.
Absolutely. And I think the last thing I'll say is, putting us on blast, yo, I'm not finna sit up here and act like we've been 100%. We've all bought stuff during.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
and I've even noticed this, I did my first spiritual fast 2 months ago or something like that, recently. And when I would beforehand, if I was nope, I'm just gonna eat. And I would eat, I would feel bad. Oh Lord, I'm desperately wicked. How could you I would feel a way that I broke the fast. But this time I felt like, all right, you know what? I broke the fast. Get back on the horse.
Right.
Keep riding. Like,
because that's what we want to do. Ultimately, it's going to meet that makes so much sense, and not having shame about that. So for me, just to be transparent, I bought, this is what I bought. 2, y'all, I'm telling you, there are reasons why we do this. I bought 2 denim shirts.
You already got 200 denim shirts.
You gotta understand, denim is like my #1 favorite thing in my wardrobe. I have denim jackets, denim, but I wear denim, and I always will wear denim, and it's a staple for me. And I'm still looking for the perfect denim shirt, and they're all different. So I bought 2 different types. One that's like a tensile material, and one that's a chambray, which is like a different thickness. They're totally different. Rich, shut your mouth. Honestly, shut your mouth, Rich. But I really know how I'll wear them differently, and I know they work in my wardrobe. I'm not justified, but I've been looking for what y'all don't know. I've been looking for these types of shirts in these particular materials. I'm not always on the hunt for a denim shirt, but I'm looking for the right material, and both of these were the types that I've been looking for a long time. It happened to be they came during my fast. Say what you will, but and I didn't spend more than $30 on each of them. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. I'm not gonna tell you what I bought.
Come on.
What?
Was it Kit?
Of course it was. Come on.
Oh man.
I bought this fire like short set from their spring collection. It's paisley. I'm gonna just show them.
To me.
I'm gonna just show you.
Hi, Rebecca. Oh yeah, I like that. Hold on. Let me see the material.
It's like a
yeah, it's mesh. I like it.
Yeah, it's mesh. So it's the top and it's got buttons, but like clasp buttons, and then it comes with a short set. I was like, no, I need both of those.
Okay, I have one more confession. Well, you already know it, but I'll confess on here. I'm so weak. We're so predictable. Why are we so predictable? Are you ready?
Yeah. What'd you get?
This was my Valentine's gift to myself. Was a denim Telfar bag. At least I'm consistent.
Listen. I just asked you. I said, yo, I told you I was in them. You know what? Did I set you off? Because I texted you and I said, Lauren, I need a denim bag. That bag is hard.
Let me tell you something. You did, and I've been on the search, but I've already known. So there's always a story. Fashion tells a story. Thank you, Tanika. It's worth it. We're not lying, Rich. We are fasting. You don't know how much we normally buy. This is what I'm saying. I encourage you to fast because you'll see when you do pop out and have to do something. So that bag, Armond, you have been looking for a denim bag, which I have consistently been on the search for you for a denim bag. Okay.
Yeah.
This one, they posted in December, sold out immediately. And I was like, this is my perfect. I have 4 Telfars. This is like the one that will complete. I might get one. I might get one more, but there's only really certain colorways that I want. I'm not out here trying to buy whatever. So I didn't think they were going to repost. I get a text and I was like, oh my gosh, they're releasing this. So I bought it immediately. I mean, it's perfect. It fits my bag. I carried it around the city on Friday. It's the same size as all my others.
I'm hating. I'm looking right
Isn't
now.
it beautiful?
I'm hating. That bag is tough. Super tough.
Thank you. Tanika knows. So folks that are on here that know us know this is a huge scale back for us to have bought one thing in 30 days. Like for me, okay, 3 things in 30 days. But I didn't buy shoes. First I thought accessories won't count, but they do. Purses count for me. Okay, they count. They have to count. But it's such an interruption to normally if I buy something weekly. And I don't spend a lot of money on things, but I'll buy things often. So
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, again, like my wife will tell you, like, there's always boxes coming to the door. When she has more boxes coming to the door than me, I'm
ready to get Tanika on some boxes at the door. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Rebecca, do it. And I don't know who Music Monday is, but we do this monthly. We talk about fashion. So come join us.
Once a month on Mondays, and then I stream personally on Wednesdays. So that's Wake Up Tonight.
But the fast will teach you. I mean, so the thing you bought, you knew, and to fully explain, okay, because I feel some judgment in the chat, Rich, but there are definitely drops that happen that are exclusive. So Telfar drops, they're done. Okay, it's an hour. The drop is over. They're sold out. Kith, same thing. When they do drops, these pieces sell out. So you do have to, if you're going to be associated with particular brands that do that, you have to be prepared to be able to spend when those things come, or know that you're out of that, right? Whereas like this was on my radar for months. It just happened to drop during this time frame, and that's just what they do. They're like, it's here and it's gone. Now, would it come back? Potentially. Did I have to buy it? No. Am I single on Valentine's Day? Yes. So I bought it for myself.
That's funny. Look, I know like Rich is like the king of like drops, right? Like just sneaker game, of course.
Thank
like
you.
we have to stand it. But at the same, I don't think it's lying, because this isn't a posture of, we're not presenting ourselves as better than anybody, because
it's just an exercise.
It's an exercise. That's it. And the fact that, like, so here's an example and then we'll move on. So as a wellness coach, before I get into my session, I'll do breathing exercises with my client. And so like those, like, where you're present with your body and present with your breath. And people think that because they can't be present, that they failed the exercise, when actually realizing that is the success. Like, oh, that's man, my brain is all over the place. I can't focus. I can't be quiet. I'm thinking about this, that, and the third.
Yep. That makes total sense.
Yeah. So now you're thinking that like the goal is to quiet yourself.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if you can't, then like that's the ideal. That's why you're here.
That's right.
You're here to either help you quiet yourself, or help you to realize that that's a place where you struggle, and let's put some things in place to like, get you across.
And that really, the learning that happens there is so special, because I think when you're in a mode of saying I'm going to fast, and many of you probably have disciplines in other areas, or like I'm going to be working out this many days, or whatever you've committed yourself to, and you take that seriously, really it's only you taking yourself seriously and honoring that. Like I don't owe anybody, Armand's not going to shame me if I don't, right? But I think what's really interesting is paying attention to the behaviors that interrupt the commitment that you made. So if you go, oh, I want to do this. Why is that? What's my motive? What is the thing I'm going to get? And it's actually really fascinating, because when you're in the mode of, I can spend whenever I want to, you don't have to reflect on that. You're just, okay, I'm going to get it because I like it. I'm going to get it because I like it. So I think it's really cool when the moments happen where you go, shoot, I got to buy this, because there's maybe a scarcity, like you're afraid you're not going to be able to get it again. There's a lot to reflect on. I even reflecting on why I purchased the things I purchased. When I say it out loud, I'm like, why? So yeah, I appreciate y'all listening to our process. I hope that you all consider doing that as well, if you are someone that loves fashion the way that we do, and it's a big part of your life. And if it's not, hopefully this still helps you to think about what you have and maybe what the gaps are, which we can talk about on another live.